Well, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me yet again. I guess this would be, what, video 33, 34? Kind of lost track, kind of lost count. Doesn't really matter anymore anyway. But I absolutely wanted to say thank you guys so much for all of the encouragement and support that you gave me in regards to yesterday's video about trying to make this more of a proper job type job. I was very back and forth about whether or not I should even put that video up, and it made me feel really good, especially this morning, reading some of those comments and just knowing you guys have my back. I think is just it's been quite I don't know, I'll call it what it is. It's been kind of an emotional day. It's really nice to know that in this random online video gardening community we have so many just absolutely wonderful people, and makes me feel really good about being a part of the garden community, and makes me feel really good about posting these videos and sharing what's going on. So on that note, kind of the main context of yesterday's video was about other ways that I could potentially earn on the YouTube platform other than the AdSense program, which really isn't what it used to be. And one of the most common ways, I guess, is merchandise, and there have been a few interesting suggestions. I think one of my favorite suggestions has been from RevToast TV. It's always Rev, I know, but he knows me fairly well. He's been watching, I think, since the channel started, and I think I've been watching his channel pretty much since it started too. So over those many years, I like to feel we've developed a camaraderie, if you will. But one of the things that RevToast suggested was basically a shirt with a picture of Gordon on it and the caption, "Don't mind me, I'm just going to check on the plants." Now, for those of you who are familiar with Gordon the cat, that is a terrifying prospect. That is why all the spider plants are down in the dungeon, because he really likes to check on the spider plants. He wants to make sure their flavor profile is really well developed, So yeah, the cat, he's not allowed to check your plants. But I got a genuine laugh out loud for that one, like an audible sound, not just LOL on the keyboard. I shared it with Shocks and she was giggling too, so 20 points to you, Rev. That was awesome. Brian, you mentioned something about potentially being able to doodle up a logo for me, and all you would want for it in return is, a shirt or whatever that ends up with it on there. So put your mind to work on that, because I would love to have your involvement in this. You also have been around for a really long time. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about the Brian Ragland channel. Well worth exploring if you've got a few minutes to kill. Just a good guy. He's always been really supportive of both Shocks and I, so it's definitely a good channel to go explore. Now, I have to admit, I haven't watched yesterday's live feed from the RevToast thing, so I have no idea how the Chocolate Bootla Challenge for Todd went. I'm hoping to get to that later today, because the not knowing is killing me. But I've spent most of the day so far farting around on Patreon, getting to know the website and trying to find out what I can and cannot get away with. For example, one of the things that I wanted to do for the higher tiers was I wanted to do a seed giveaway. I have access to an incredible host of seed sites, not even just through the Pepper Lovers community, but through other online sources that I found as well. And I was kind of hoping that we could do something sort of like a lotto, or spin the wheel and see who's going to win, and spin the wheel and see what they win. But apparently that's kind of foursquare against the rules and regs of the Patreon site, and if you're caught offering a raffle or anything of that nature, they will politely ask you to stop. And I don't want to break the rules on somewhere that I'm just getting involved with, so I kind of had to change my plans there. I do have 3 levels of commitment set up right now. The page hasn't been launched yet, because there's still a whole bunch of stuff I got to deal with. But I'm getting there. To all of you who said that you would be willing to contribute even a nominal amount to the Patreon account, I got to tell you, I really appreciate even just the thought that you might be willing to contribute. It's made it a lot easier for me to transition towards this point and build the channel on that level. I have no idea how much to ask for, because I don't know what people are going to want to contribute, but I do understand that people like to be involved. They like to feel that they're a part of things. And with the Patreon account and, you know, donations or commitments or contributions, however you want to word it, that go along with that, it does allow people the opportunity to feel a sense of ownership in the various things that are going on here in the dungeon and out in the yard, and eventually when we get onto the farm or the greenhouse or whatever. You will have contributed to that, and you will be able to say, I helped make this happen. And I think it's really cool to be able to engage with you in that fashion. So one of the things that I have set up for the 2 top tiers, like I said, I'm kind of toying with 3 tiers right now, but one of the things that I've set up for the 2 top tiers is polls and surveys about maybe what you'd like to see me do on the channel, you know, a list of videos, which one would you like to see. I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to work that out yet, because, well, being me, I do things a few times before I actually figure out how it works, and then once I figure out how it works, it becomes easier for me to figure out what I'm going to do with it. So on that note, I'm probably going to wrap up today's video. I mean, fairly short, fairly sweet. Actually, no, I'm not, because there was something plant-related I wanted to share with you. Not that long ago, maybe a week and a half, I set up a whole bunch of tomato seeds in these little styrofoam cups, and today I noticed I've got sprouts coming up in quite a few of them. That one there is the Indigo Rose, so Benja, if you're watching, those seeds will be headed out very soon, as well as a bunch of other varieties, just because I've made you wait, right? The Tumbling Tom there started to sprout. What's this one here? The Lemon Boy has started to sprout. Nothing really in there yet. We got the red pear tomato. It's got an interesting shape and a cherry variety, but it looks like a pear, right? So that should be cool. We got a few sprouting up in there. Which one is this? That is the grape tomato. Cool. So I've got, you know, little tiny cherry tomatoes that look like grapes, little tiny cherry tomatoes that look like pears, and little tiny cherry tomatoes that are just this funky purple that goes along with the Indigo Rose tomato. I mean, what else we got here? We've got the bush beefsteak. I'm a little concerned about these because I think bush beefsteaks might be a determinate variety, but we'll find out in the coming months as things go along, because in my experience the determinate varieties don't clone anywhere near as well as indeterminates do. We got a couple popped up in this. That's the Broad Ripple Yellow Currant. Rob Bob originally sent me those all the way from Australia, and they have been incredibly productive for me every year that I've been able to grow them. So thank you again, Rob, for those. And Benja, I'll send you some of those as well. Sweet 100s popping up. So it's looking like it's going to be a wonderfully varied year for the tomatoes. And, you know, it'd be a nice change from 100 billion different types of peppers. Add a couple dozen types of tomatoes in there. So, yeah, that would be great. Oh, looking over here on the warming mat. Didn't notice this one earlier. The Sweet Juliet Hybrid, which, okay, many years ago I picked up a bunch of tomatoes for like 10 cents each at Clearance Canadian Tire. The Sweet Juliet Hybrid was one of those. It's kind of a paste variety of tomato, so I like it because it's all meaty. But I didn't save any seeds for it, and the following year some of them popped up in the gnome garden. You'll have to look back in the videos to see what I'm talking about there. We've got these little ceramic gnomes from the neighbors. Long story short, I saved some seeds from those, and I've been growing them pretty much every year. They're really, really productive. I get like 6 and 8 packs of tomatoes, and they're so delicious. I'm really excited that that's already sprouted up. So, yeah, we have tomato sprouts now. Oh, there's the nasturtium. We got it growing in a capless bottle, so it's not too moist in there. Quite curious to see what's going to go on with that. Might be time to like find some marigolds or some other types of flowers too, because I mean, if I'm going to start with one flower, I might as well have more varieties in there. Oh, and on that note, I also found this link on Amazon.ca that says it's got like 200 succulent seeds, or there might have been aloe types, I'm not sure, but it basically it offers a whole boatload of different cactus and aloe and all kinds of stuff, plants in a variety of colors. So I'm really seriously thinking about starting those up. A, because it's good to have a bunch of aloes in the house. It's just really useful. If you don't know why, maybe we'll make that a topic for a future video, but until then you should go look it up. The many uses of an aloe vera plant. Wow. But I also think because of the nature of some of these succulents, they're going to look really, really cool under these purple LED lights that I've got. So thinking about getting some of those seeds. I'm thinking very strongly about getting some Cuban oregano, which is also known as Mexican thyme. Some of you may have seen this in the past, some of you may have not, but basically it's a nice succulent type leaf. It's got almost a gel in it like an aloe vera does, and it's so potent with its oregano aroma. That's what I used to make my savory salt. I used Cuban oregano and then just treated it like I would my fire salt. And we've got a little tiny bit of that left, and I've got a friend back on the coast who is absolutely dying for me to make more of it. So I really need to grow some so that I can make some more Cuban oregano savory salt. If you're interested in that, that video is up on the Barron Kitchen channel, which is down in the description there. So yeah, the Patreon account isn't live yet, but I am working on the page. And if you've got any advice or feedback or anything like that, please feel free to throw it in the comments down there. I will get back to it as soon as I can. My computer's being really weird right now. I've been trying to answer comments all day, well, since this morning's batch, and it's around noon, 1 o'clock, it just stopped letting me interact with the YouTube site. So I think that might be a couple of the other pages that I've got open. I'm going to need to close those out and get back to answering comments, because I think right now there are 4 or 5 that I haven't gotten back to yet, and it drives me nuts knowing that they're there and I haven't responded to them. So on that note, I am going to wrap up today's video. I will try and remember to throw some channels up and around, and of course the best for viewer video, because at least one of the 4 things has to be a video, so I can't put 4 channels up there because YouTube just won't let me. Alright everybody, thank you so much for joining me like I was saying, and thank you for all the encouragement. I will probably see you tomorrow, and who knows, maybe I'll have that page fully set up, but I doubt it. Maybe. Who knows?